Everybody, I want to say a pleasant morning to everyone. I know that pleasantries have been extended already, but it's the 1st of March, and I really want to say happy month to everyone as we continue. I realize as well too that you had a little quotations and everything like that. So, and really interested is the weeds and the flowers, from whose perspective do you look? And their benefits for both because the weeds also can assist in the reduction of soil erosion. Yeah, but of course if you have too many weeds it can also lead to your plant being destroyed. But there might be some persons who appreciate weeds. We may look at it and some of us may look at weeds and say, you know what, I don't like those things. But there are some persons who may use it for other reasons. You ever see those fences with the vegetation?
Yeah.
And they're covered by weeds to try to mask what's inside.
Yes.
And to separate what's outside. So again, it's all beauty is in the eyes of the
But
beholder.
are those weeds or are those a form of a flower plant? Because I don't think people might want weeds.
So I'm talking about the long stringy things that sometimes look like vines.
You know the ones that literally attach themselves to the fences flat? Are those weeds or are those a plant?
Yes. Anyway, let's.
I give you all something that happened to me one time. I hate those things. Just yesterday afternoon, I was trying to untangle some of that stuff from an oregano plant we have in the backyard. Right? One time, I asked my wife to pick some spinach right from outside and to cook, and she inadvertently picked a vine that was intertwined with the spinach.
Yes.
And I had, let's say, I took a few extra trips to the bathroom.
Oh boy!
Thank God it didn't make me sick. I was just wondering, what's going on? Why am I,
Also, maybe
So it was that whatever that weed was, it made,
See?
right. So
that's good.
and that's what I was talking. Those are very annoying.
No, and you see judgment. That's clearly what they say. In between the two is judgment.
Why
So
is judgment pejorative though? I'm judging.
You're judging the
That
weed like,
weed
why
should
did
not-
that have to be mixed up in my stuff?
Right. That weed should not be intertwined with my spinach.
I remember there are different types of weed too. So
Maybe that was a good weed, Jamster.
there are different types of weed.
Oh Lord, this weed sound like
Yes.
weed. Weeding, guys.
Oh, no.
We're not weeding at all. We're just talking about plants. We're
Yes.
just talking about plants.
Remember, it's not really illegal now. That's all.
Boy.
So as we look at some of the things into the news, yesterday I attended a farewell cocktail that was hosted by the High Court Registry for the farewell of the Chief Justice Dame Janice Pereira, her ladyship, and so she has served as the Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court for some time and will be retiring this year.
Okay.
So I just wanted to highlight that.
So she came here.
There was, yes. So there's the sitting of the Court of Appeal, and from my information, as they sit in the region, as they sit in various countries, because they go around, it's a rotating court where they have the appeal being held, they go to the country. And so while she's going around, she will be having similar, likewise, farewells. So it was a really nice occasion. It was a farewell cocktail hosted by the High Court Registry, and in attendance, magistrates, judges of appeal, justices of appeal, and justice of the High Court, and lawyers both in the private and public bar. So, and of course the court staff, and so it was a really wonderful time, and you really got the opportunity to say farewell to someone who has served the region for such a important and instrumental period in time, especially looking at the COVID-19 and looking at how the court has transitioned into an electronic period now where we file documents online. So very important milestone. And there were messages, communication by the registrar, by the Attorney General, by Dr. Brown, by who's a KC, by Anthony Gonzalez, KC, and other persons. It was really a good event. So I just wanted to note that so persons know what is happening. Yes. So we've had a number of things as it relates to, this morning is when they're going to have the two debates. So at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel, it's going to be LIDC. And at the Carty Hotel, it's going to be the postgraduates debate.
Yeah.
So Royal St. Kitts, LIDC, six farmers, various countries, postgraduate Carty, various campuses of the University of the West Indies. And so it's an interesting time. At 10 a.m., we have the LIDC, and we indicated who those debaters will be yesterday. And again, this morning, again at around 9, the opening ceremony starts. We will have the postgraduates having their debates. So it's a very interesting time. And again, yesterday we were talking about the regional leaders and them attending the 4-day summit in Guyana, you know, and coming out of that, the need or the mandate to really address the issues of crime, violence in Haiti. So this is another article that I've seen on Loop News, and it says regional leaders reiterate strong position on crime and violence. It says Caribbean community leaders ended their 4-day summit on Wednesday night, reiterating their strong position on crime and violence in the region and recommitting themselves to the principles as set out in the Declaration on Crime and Violence as a public health and safety issue. So they said last year in Trinidad and Tobago, a special meeting of the regional leaders and other stakeholders and CARICOM leaders during their deliberations at the 46th regular summit strongly condemned the development, presence, tolerance, or acceptance of violence, antisocial music, and social media content that disintegrate women and promote the use of violence and guns. So, yeah, so CARICOM is coming full force as it relates to sending a strong message and having a strong position on crime and violence.
But I never understand why the type of music, Jams, is that your favorite genre, dancehall? I don't want to bash anybody's music because everybody has their like, but I don't understand dancehall.
You
mean music?
Not banning you?
Dancehall.
No.
They need to ban it.
You saw the article.
I honestly feel they need to ban some of that because I don't understand how people think that's cool. Music disrespects women. It just makes women look like an item. Like, I just need you for this one particular thing, and when you're done, get out of my face. I don't like that type of music. And then it's basically telling you they're gonna kill each other. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't even understand how we allow it.
Yeah. So they said they strongly condemn the development, presence, tolerance, or acceptance of violence, anti-social music and social music content that denigrate women and promote the use of violence and guns. Yes, and we know music, it has the capacity to influence behavior. Some persons might not be influenced by it. Men
calling each other dog. I'm not a dog. Do I walk on 4 feet? What's going on, dog? Yes. No, nothing going on here. Dogs don't speak. Don't call me no dog.
Yeah, so music has the power to influence. It has the power to highlight things, and if it's done in a very crafty way, it's catching. And persons use music for various means, even in political meetings. The music that's being held, the various candidates would have songs that really push them and what they're doing. So music can be used as a tool either for good.
But a certain genre of music should not be around. I'm sticking to that.
Do you think
unless it's clean, unless it's not saying, I'm going to shoot him, I'm going to do this. No, I do not want that.
So you're and I see where you're coming from, and I say this is perhaps the lyrics and maybe not the particular genre, because the genre is the beat, the music, how you align.
But the whole genre is messed up.
Based on the lyrics.
I guess
because you could have dancehall, and there have been gospel dancehall.
The old-time dancehall. Yes. Let me be clear, because the old-time dancehall clean and nice. Yeah. Even in the battles, you don't hear the men behave in that type of way. Yeah, so but I don't like the new era.
Your contention
dancehall.
Is the lyrics.
Yeah.
The lyrics.
The disrespectful lyrics.
Yes. So yes.
I'm gonna call them out for what they are.
But I have to say that the women.
Like the music that
Yes,
disrespects
Yeah.
who they are as a person. I do not
I have
like
to, yeah,
that
I have to
music.
say that. I'm glad you said it and I didn't.
Yeah, I can.
because That's why I paused because not that I'm usually not that I'm usually
So
not
you
that
like
I usually
dancehall?
show any trepidation about saying what I feel, but you know,
Do you like the new era of dancehall, though, Jamsa?
no, no.
Okay, fair enough.
For the most part, no. And you know, the funny thing is, a lot of nice feel-good dancehall is being made, but it's going nowhere. Like I get all this stuff in my inbox every day, and I'm like, oh,
Nobody
this rhythm.
listening to
I'm
that,
like, this rhythm
man.
nice and sunny, feel
Yep.
good, and nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear the
No.
dark, bleak stuff
Yeah.
with all the racy
Rah,
lyrics
rah,
that
rah,
you
rah,
talk. You
and
know.
shooting and all kind of that don't make no sense.
Oh.
I'm like, what is
But
this?
I'm gonna sworn I sent this to y'all last night. You saw what Rowley said, right?
No, you
No.
can go ahead.
Yeah, I thought I'd sent it. Well, what happened? Yeah. So he, this is what he said concerning the whole thing. So this is actually a good basis for an argument. Okay, so Rowley is saying he's not in agreement with banning some of the problematic music. He said he's just asking people to clean up the lyrics. So this is what he said. I think the general consensus is that art, including music, has an effect on the human condition. And if the expression of that art, that music, is one that promotes and glorifies negativity in the form of violence, then clearly it ought to be condemned. We discuss it at length, but we make a distinction between condemning it and banning it because we believe that to talk about bans, to ban something is simply to make it more attractive to those who would want to use it. In today's technological world, you can't ban something like that because you may say you don't want it on TTT. That's the Trinidad.
The
Yeah.
radio station.
Yeah, but social media will make sure it's available to all who want it, and that's one of the difficulties that the world faces. But to condemn an art form that is appealing to the basest and to the derelict nature and appealing to our worst condition, especially if it is to encourage violence as an act to participate in, and of course the denigration of women, as some of those lyrics are, then clearly we don't shy away from condemnation, while we do not think that attempting to ban, but we can restrict in public spaces and on public airwaves certain kinds of tasteless so-called genre. We just have to be realistic about what is happening and not be afraid to say we accept or we don't accept. And he also called an artist who composed this type of music to clean up the lyrics, as I said before. So what do you guys think?
Well, I understand his position. In the
Oh,
fact
wait,
of,
there's a bit more. I have
Okay,
to,
go
I have to
ahead.
read this here. Those who are in the music business who understand that damage can be done there may be able to help with respect to put it simply, cleaning up the lyrics. I'm sure there's a place for good taste and acceptable conduct. It's your right to go down the road, but if you go down the road naked, you would meet a law that says, no sir, go and put on some clothes. You might think that some kinds of verbal expressions sound very effective, but there's a law against obscene language, isn't there? The effect of it is to poison the behavior and the character of our young people. I think parents and communities, parents, they made a mistake. It's parents. Parents and communities could condemn that without fear of being accused. With respect to the fundamental rights and freedoms that are enshrined in the Constitution, what do you guys think? See,
Azard is for it. I'm just done. I'm just done with it.
Listen to what
I'm
I
just
said,
done with this.
because I didn't finish yet. I said I could understand what his position is in terms of trying to restrict that kind of music, but I think that as government and agencies, I think restriction is perhaps one of the easiest steps before you do a ban. But of course, you could restrict based on the fact that there are certain government agencies, government. Functions that would have, and you just said, you know what, if you can't play X, Y, and Z music that promotes X, Y, and Z. I mean, we've done it here in terms of...
He kind of alluded to that, but I guess that's what he meant.
Yeah, where you could tell or you could enforce something to say, we based on the type of lyrics, you restrict it, on the airwaves, and you restrict it at whatever functions
But
you're
as he
having.
said, it's going to get out still on social media. So what are we going to do? Shut down social
but
media
that-
too? We can't.
But that's like saying we should take no responsibility, because if we take any responsibility and try to restrict it, they're going to get it elsewhere.
And exactly.
I still think that the spaces that you police, if you can police and say, could you maybe not play that stuff here, or I think you should I think that's a step you can take. I mean, obviously, for example, if a church hires me for a bazaar, right? Let's say I was someone who didn't have the who didn't have the good sense. No, well, maybe I shouldn't be playing some of these guys for a church bazaar, right? And then the church told me, I don't think you should play that stuff. They're perfectly within their rights.
Yeah, because
right?
it's a church.
So while you're not banning at the same time, you're
being
mindful.
mindful.
And think about time and place, right?
I think perhaps what he's looking at is perhaps when he made that statement is the effectiveness of the ban at the time, and also maybe could be backlash as well, in terms of.
So he's making sure that his constituents will still vote for him, so he won't.
I mean,
Azard, you realize Azard is thinking like, I didn't even think about that.
I'm thinking
about the politician.
Yeah,
so
and that's probably what he's doing too.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to lose his peoples.
Yeah.
But then telling people to clean up the lyrics, I mean, to me, that's a perfectly reasonable admonition. You don't think?
Yeah,
so
I
what
think.
they're going to sing now? Was going down the street by a tree. No, they're going to sing now.
There is, I like to say, there's a large middle ground in which people can play lyrically without, let's say,
because
getting out of pocket.
The violence sells.
Yeah.
I can never understand how something that is bad makes its way it's just out there and everybody see that it's good, and something that's good, nobody gravitates towards that.
Humans are perverse.
Boy, our minds are really messed up sometimes, because I can't listen to something that basically saying shoot somebody or
I was just about to go to the break because but there's a
calling?
call. Yeah.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island Tea. Good morning.
Good morning, Island Tea.
Good morning, Jam Down.
Yes, Jam Down.
As an officer at the court, did police put out anything concerning the slicing of the young woman throat?
I haven't.
We're going to tolerate them things, think it. It's not. And when it comes to Rowley, with these pleasant instruments, Calypsonian and everybody, with these criminal lyrics, we don't want that in the Caribbean. And I support Rowley. If it's ban. You understand, Jamto? If it's ban. Because we could, I never hear him sing a violent song yet.
Yep.
He always melody, diction, and clarity. We can't, we're gonna try.
But Jam Down, do you think that they can? Jam Down, do you think they can clean up the lyrics though? Do you think the artist can clean up the lyrics? So
of course, but if you're gonna come broadly with the Kill Harry and gun this and MC, we don't want that in the Caribbean.
No,
this is the haunting these countries, and the weak politicians them. They got to stop. You think them things could happen with Bratchan, Eric Barrow and Bonham and them, man?
Not at all.
This is where we slip and go on because the wobbly politicians that we got in the Caribbean, they don't care.
Okay.
Things where they should be doing.
Yep.
They're doing. But they're traveling the world left, right, and center.
But did you feel pleased when the last artist, I think it's Cayman 6, did you feel pleased when he was denied entry into Sing Kits? For the mere fact that...
Which artist?
The last dancehall artist that was coming from Trinidad.
And the music festival?
No. There was a recent event where this guy by the name of Cayman 6, he was supposed to come to St. Kitts, but he was denied entry.
As long as you and Bob Marley and Peter touch, me can't listen to me. You understand?
Okay.
The point they're trying to make, Azard, come back to police. There must be out there this information. Yesterday, over the port, walking on about 5 ladies. You could see the fear in them. We don't want them kind of behavior from foreigners coming here to make a living. We're bringing them here to make a living. We don't want that. That ain't for here. That for Jamaica, Trinidad, and Guyana, and where they go running bush. We don't want
Jam Down, it's for nowhere. We don't want that nowhere. So we can't say that's for those countries and not for ours. We don't want it anywhere.
Yes. So, very interesting. We could take a short break and get back.
98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Grow and Glow. Hortford's Building and Neva Center's 25% off lawn and garden show. Happening now at Hortford's Building and Neva Centers. Every day is a lawn and garden show. Step into the world of lush greenery and vibrant blooms with our Grow and Glow Lawn and Garden Show sales event. Transform your space with 25% off all lawn and garden products. From quality lawn and garden tools and equipment to premium fertilizers, we've got everything you need to make your garden flourish. But hurry, these deals won't last forever. It's time to create the garden of your dreams and let your
Life is unpredictable. When a serious illness strikes, such as cancer, heart attack, or stroke, the Family Critical Illness Plan from Kuna Caribbean Insurance can provide an extra layer of financial protection for you and your family against out-of-pocket expenses. Select a plan that fits your needs and get up to $90,000 in coverage. No medical examination is required. Contact your credit union or one of their approved family indemnity plan providers to enroll today. To learn more, call 466-9453 or visit their website at kunacaribbean.com. Kuna Caribbean Insurance, for all people.
Hortford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Hortford's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
And we are back on Island T, and I just see in my inbox that there, as we continue to talk in the veins of CARICOM, that there was an attack at the Haiti airport. And it says, gang attacks at Haiti airport damages jetliners. Airlines cancel flights from South Florida. Wow. And this gang attack happens at the international airport. Do these gangs realize that they're destroying the very fabric of Haiti? Are they aware of what they are doing?
Very true.
Airlines are not going to want to go there. I don't know what their tourist count look like, if there is tourism in Haiti. I don't think these people are aware that they're taking their country into the ground. And as I said, more and more, when I look at documentaries about the Haitian prison, I would not want to go there. So I don't understand why these people continue to be bad. Why do they continue to be bad? It said the violence, which also targeted police facilities and an auto dealership housing the Jamaican consulate, started early in the morning with an armed gang knocking down the perimeter wall of the Haiti National Police Academy, not far from the U.S. Embassy in the metropolitan Port-au-Prince. By mid-morning, the attacks had spread and shots were fired just north of the airport. At least one person, a Haitian National Police officer, was shot during an exchange of gunfire between gang members and police trying to quell the violence. The officer was taken to the hospital, an airport employee told the Miami Herald. At the time of the shooting, a New York-bound JetBlue Airways flight was preparing to take off from the Toussaint Louverture International Airport, though the airliner managed to depart unscathed. Both Spirit Airlines and American Airlines canceled their flight out of Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood International Airport, and Miami International Airports into Port-au-Prince. Wow. An American suspended daily service between Miami and Port-au-Prince as a result of civil unrest. Wow. And these people don't realize what they're doing to their country. They really don't realize how they're further burying Haiti in the dirt.
Yes.
I just cannot understand. Look at this. Gang leader Jimmy Chazer, a former cop. How does a cop go rogue? How? Why? What's the point?
Well,
Oh boy.
based on the information, we have seen where persons are alleging that, involvement from the wife for the assassination. So, I mean,
So I shouldn't be surprised that a cop is a gang leader.
you shouldn't be surprised if they're making those allegations.
Oh boy.
Yes.
How does one go from being an
So,
upstanding citizen
Based on the
to a
information
troublemaker?
that we have been seeing,
Oh,
based on the information that we've been seeing.
Listen, I tell people all the time, prisons don't have petty, they don't have perfumes, and they don't have lazy boys. I cannot go there. Nor does prison have
They're
a little...
probably they're probably thinking that they're probably not even contemplating prison.
Because they know that
They
it's
probably
imminent that they're going to die at some point.
I don't even know. They're probably. I mean, this is just me just guessing. Most of them probably not even contemplating that.
Have you ever seen what their prison look like?
Haiti?
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's hell.
Oh, you seen it?
Yeah, I told you I watch documentaries. Like some people in there said they're innocent and they're just in there. And there's this one section where majority of the prisoners are sick, and they feed these men like a flower pop every day. Their bellies are huge, like starving children.
What do you mean a flower pot? They eat
Flower pop.
What's
So it's like a porridge, but it's flour, but it's long and watery and nasty.
Oh my God.
That's all they eat, and that.
Oh, flower pap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, pap. That's what y'all call it. Oh,
Yeah, pap,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and they feed them that, and then for the set that has tuberculosis, they have all of them housed in one area. And let me tell you, Jamster, the amount is insignificant. Too many that even in the other prisons, people are sleeping on the beds and stuff. It's crazy. Packed. Packed. People don't get to come out their cells. They throw their bodily stuff down. They throw their bodily stuff down. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah. I wouldn't want to go to prison in Haiti. So I don't understand why these people are being in gangs and putting themselves in harm's way.
Actually, yeah. I mean, I actually had to. Someone sent a comment. We were talking earlier about the dance hall and so on. He raises a good point, which is something I knew, but I didn't think of it in the same way at the time. You saying dance hall has always been dirty since Yellow Man in the 80s, who was referred to as the king of slackness, which is true.
Okay.
So my response to him was, that's a good point for me to make, in that perhaps they weren't as conscious and activistic. I had to make up a word to make a point of the bad aspects of music at the time, meaning people saying, well, you can't play this. Because I remember coming up and hearing Yellow Man, and the lyrics were okay. It was mostly
as bad as it is now.
Bad mostly as just sex. It wasn't bad in the sense of gunman stuff and all that. It was more the sex thing.
So it was sexually explicit, not.
Yeah, whereas now it's like
straight up.
Yeah, and also it's almost like gangsterism and gun talk and gunplay is cool now. Yes, idolized, exactly. And ghetto living is idolized as well. 3 G's. Wow, gun talk, gangsterism, and ghettoism. Glamorize another G. Hey, 4 G's.
I know. It's just G's when it and G's is something they like to use in their music as well, right? So G's, they're always talking about the G, G. Yeah. Well.
So that was a good point to point out. But I also want to make the point about Haiti that I think it's sad that the ultimate reason for all of this is because the Haitians had the gall and the gumption, and more G's again, and they dared to they basically dared to defy the colonialists and take their own take their freedom.
So this is a curse?
And then be suffering since. Well, not a curse, but France and the US have been making them pay ever since.
Wow.
Because I remember reading that same book I was telling you guys about, Black History AF, talked about the fact that during the Haitian Revolution, the apparently Haiti had sent a letter to the U.S. president. I think Toussaint had sent a letter asking for recognition as a republic, and they never replied. And also, they were falling all over themselves to make sure that the enslaved in the U.S. didn't find out what happened in Haiti, because they were afraid that the same thing would happen in the U.S.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
revolt.
Yeah.
But Haiti has been fighting forever.
Yes, and they've been
it's
paying for that
sad,
ever since.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
even the innocent has to pay sometimes.
Yeah.
That don't make any sense though. Haiti is a beautiful country. Why are they mashing it up like that?
But there's another thing that no one talks about. Boy, I might end up disappearing if I say this.
What
No,
is
I'm
it?
serious. I'm serious. A lot of people don't know. Haiti, there are large deposits of a rare earth metal called iridium that is used in making of satellites and precision equipment, computers, weapons in Haiti. And apparently, one of the reasons for the constant confusion and anarchy in Haiti is so that they can exploit those resources. And in fact, I was told that the
Who can
US
exploit the resources?
the US, I was told that the US Army is the one, the US military are the ones actually mining it and taking it out.
Oh, so the US is
So they're
over
not
there.
even paying for it.
Oh, okay. Ooh, la la.
Yeah. So
Haiti's
if,
just
so if I
suffering
if,
from
if
all
I dis-
angles.
if I disappear or something
Oh
happens, to
no,
me,
no, no!
so-
You're not gonna disappear in the name of Jesus. No, bring it back home, please. Bring it back home.
Okay, caller, you can call back. It's 8:46. Yeah. So yeah, Haiti's being made to pay.
Haiti's been paying for too long. I just wish they can get a break.
Caller, go right ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Jamster, good morning.
Hey, what's up?
Good morning.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Don't get this guy
Azard.
going.
Iridium, very rare earth metal. Iridium is only two places in the world. The iridium was somewhat like a asteroid or comet that
Yes.
fell to the earth.
Yeah, there's a theory that
Only
you notice how
two
Haiti's
places,
shaped.
South Africa and Haiti.
You know,
Okay.
you notice how Haiti's shaped, right?
Yeah.
There's a theory that there was a huge asteroid hit there that just basically
That
just-
deposited that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
took out that whole area, that whole crescent-shaped area there,
Oh wow.
and you know.
Yeah, and the
Mhm.
high elevation, the high mountains in Haiti, they have mountains and mountains and mountains of it. And that is why the U.S. is sending all these truckloads and truckloads and truckloads of that rare earth back to the U.S.
So you know about this then?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm a
so-
stickler for all things when it comes to Caribbean
Okay.
people.
Let's get something straight, Africa. When they come for me, I'm gonna tell them come for you too. Huh? I'm just kidding.
Well, listen, if they have not come for me yet,
Mhm.
rest assured that
They're not coming for him, right?
secondary.
Exactly. Exactly.
Even though I am very diplomatic, I think before I say certain things. But yes, someone has to tell the story.
Yes.
Back to Haiti. And Napoleon, he was the one who lost all what we call the Louisiana Purchase. It's not just the state of Louisiana. It's all the way from the Louisiana coast, all the way up to Missouri, all the whole central area of the United States. And Napoleon has what to sell to the third president.
Okay.
Yeah, what's his name is?
You mean
His
of the United States?
Grandfather, his great grandfather had that place.
Thomas
over that
Jefferson?
place from the Kalinago people down there in Old
Kalinago.
Road. Samuel Jefferson.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
So you see how the history is correlated to us?
Yep.
Yeah, so we have to make that story. And
Somebody
talk
was
about
even
it.
telling me that history is not compulsory in schools anymore. I need to get to the bottom of that, because how can we take history out of schools? We see yesterday we had a quiz, and it was a struggle for people to know the names of the gentlemen that were instrumental in the beginning or back then when they had the Buckley's Uprising. And I mean, why would we not keep history in school? Why it's not a compulsory
at a moment when history is so relevant,
Yes.
Haiti to take it out when
Oh,
we
my
are
God.
we're writing our own story. It's our own narrative we are presenting now in this perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And they, I would admit though that the history that we were taught was very boring.
It was.
Yeah, we was being bombarded with their story.
Yeah,
as opposed
slavery
to now
mostly.
our story.
Mhm.
But now it's so encouraging, It's like, wow.
But I hope our story
Yeah,
really
so-
gets into
so
the
them
schools.
Yes, the Iridium and the Louisiana Purchase, and Haiti was the prize colony of the French by far. And to see where Haiti is today,
Boy.
it is William Ruto, the president of Kenya, who started to want to spearhead. But for some reason, that project is on hold because their administration, their parliament, has to vote on it to give the green light.
What
So,
does the
Kenya to send
Kenyan
their
president
soldiers.
wants to spearhead? What is it he's spearheading?
William Ruto made a suggestion to the African Union,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the United Nations got involved. Where was that part when the United Nations got involved was a little bit distasteful
Okay.
because people wanted to feel like, oh, Kenya is going to be used by the UN to go into Haiti to clean up the mess.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of the backlash with the Kenyan nationals, they're supposed to take it to the parliament.
Okay,
to get
okay,
a vote on it,
understood,
to give
understood.
approval for the Kenyans.
Oh yeah, I did hear a
spearhead
story
that.
like that, or see a story like
Because
that.
Haiti is not an easy fix.
No, you're right.
It is not an easy fix.
Oh
But
boy.
William Ruto, the president of Kenya, he is like a breath of fresh air, like how Mayor Motley is to us in the Caribbean.
No.
And so he has come up with so many things, dismantling the IMF and dismantling the World Bank. If only the African Union will vote on these things. He is suggesting these things. That is why the European Parliament invited him the other day to address them. Because this guy is like, wow, this guy is speaking gem. And so he wants to spearhead not only Kenya, because Brazil, Indonesia, some other United Nations members has approved his mission as a good one. And they will give financial support and logistical support and otherwise.
Yes, which is what I
Haiti
felt.
is not an easy
yeah.
fix, and we need to fix Haiti
Yeah,
to
big
be
time.
a whole Caribbean.
Well, while I like the what should I say, I like the sense of community that we have, right? It's really not us. It's really not our. Meaning, the Europeans are the ones that need to fix Haiti. France and the US, they're the ones that
Yeah, those
really.
gendarmes need to go up
It's
there
not
and
on
sort it
us.
out.
It's on
But
them.
before if we leave it to them, Haiti will never be fixed. We
I
have to
know.
fix
Well,
Haiti
I know,
and
but I was
prove
just
to them
saying. I was
that
just
we're going to
stating.
fix Haiti and we're going to fix ourselves, and we don't want none of them to intrude to be a part of our internal, conflict. And so we want to be able to fix our internal conflict, because there are a lot of conflicts amongst ourselves that we need to fix without the aid and the help of external forces, because they're going to always feel like the owners.
Oh,
They already
okay.
mash us up.
Okay, wait. Let me take another call.
Psychological and otherwise.
I'm gonna take another call. You can call back. Call go right there. Oh boy, we lost the call. Go ahead, kid.
Oh boy. Haiti. When he mentioned that if the external forces help, that we're always going to be dependent on them. Do we have the resources? Are we ready to really? I shouldn't say if we are ready, but can we do it by ourselves? Because I think if France goes in, we know the gendarmes are feared. I don't know if there are gendarmes in Haiti, because I know that that's the French police. I would like to think that some respect might be garnered, but I don't know. The fact that a former cop is a gang leader, that's scary. The former first lady is embroiled in the killing of her husband. We have politicians who are embroiled as well. We see what people will do for power, but I do not know. We can just keep praying, sitting at the table, and hoping that as this Haiti issue can be sorted out as soon as possible and not continue on the road that it is, because the innocent are going to pay for the guilty. So we need to get it sorted out as soon as possible. Oh boy.
Okay, sorry. I had a little conversation there with Azard. He had to leave to go judge the UE. Yeah, so while you were there talking, as you could see, I was talking to him. He said that, that there was a start yesterday.
There was a what?
There was also start yesterday.
And they're just getting a lot of
the flight. Apparently, the flights got mixed up, and so they have to do debates that they were supposed to do yesterday. They're gonna happen today. So they're gonna have I think they're gonna have the debates from yesterday. That was scheduled for yesterday, this morning. Yeah. And then I'm assuming they're gonna have the regular.
They're gonna go all the way down to
1 o'clock. So I guess 1 o'clock would be the ones which were originally scheduled for 1 o'clock today. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yes, so he said he's gone too.
Yes, folks.
So that's over at Koi Resort. Have you ever been over there?
Yes.
Okay,
I stayed at Koi in the early inceptions of Koi. That's why when we had that hurricane and persons had this video out about look at what's happening at Koi, I'd be like, that's not Koi. Koi has a bamboo, a whole bamboo area there. Koi does not have a pool in the middle of its facility. The pool is on the outside. So I knew immediately that wasn't Koi.
Oh, so they took a picture and
they took a picture of somewhere else and said this is what's happening over at Koi. We had a little storm of the sorts, and I'm like, that's not Koi. Okay. Koi has a bamboo garden with a Buddha head.
I really have
You should go.
Have to go there with the wife or something. So they have a restaurant you can go over and eat.
Yeah, it's nice over there.
I've never been, so
it's lovely.
Yeah, I just go past.
Okay.
Yeah, call and go right ahead. It's 8:56.
Yeah, good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
I have a lot to say now. I can't say most of it today, but first thing, the war in the Middle East with Israel, that is something that has to happen. Israel is referred to the Bible as the time clock of the world to that extent. Soon America is to lose power. I believe that if Donald Trump is to win this election, he's going to pull America away from Israel. Whoever blesses Israel according to the Bible will be blessed. Whoever curses Israel will be cursed. That is why America has to be strategically a powerhouse, because they support Israel. When Donald Trump comes into power, if he does, he's going to take away support. America is going to lose their dominant force in the world. The European 10 world nation is going to come into power. And then this particular man, that the Bible refers to as the man of perdition, who is referred to as the Antichrist, is going to come on the scene, and he's going to bring a great calm to the world. Great calm. He's going to create a one world currency. He's going to make everyone be accountable with a chip. You have to purchase stuff, and if you have to purchase stuff with a chip, it means that you can't do illegal gun trade, you can't do prostitution, you can't do illegal selling of people. And so when he brings this calm to the world, it's going to be, the world's going to accept it. Then after, he's going to come the most terrible person the world has ever seen.
Yep.
But you know what I couldn't understand? Why did the administration here presently brought a Muslim temple here? Well, I was made to understand it was under Team Unity. And if that's the case, then they did something very bad, because soon the Muslim religion is going to take over the entire world. And under that Muslim religion, this man who is the petition, the man of sin, the Antichrist, is going to cast a strong law that if you do not take this chip, you will be beheaded according to Revelation. So I used to think to myself, how would a Caribbean-born government politician endorse that thing? But it would be endorsed under the Muslim religion. So there's a lot of things. And also Haiti, the reason why a lot of this is happening to Haiti, because Haiti has turned away from God. The predominantly religion is Satanism. And the other day, Jamaica wanted to bring that in, where this man was trying to say about, oh, this is part of our inheritance. And almost the whole of Jamaica voted against it. And that's the reason why it was not cast. Whenever you have a nation that glorifies the enemy, the arch enemy, that nation cannot be blessed. that nation will be cursed, and that's the reason.
That's why Haiti it is.
But let me push back against that a little bit, though, because Haiti is the only country that practices pagan religions.
No, but look at it this way. Look at it this way. No other nations might practice things like Kortensia, Shindonism, them other things, but Haiti directly is involved in Satanism and voodoo and these other things from the very head, Jamster, not from some group of people, from the very head.
Yeah, but listen, them folks practice Wicca and all these other things, which technically are Satanism, because where else is this power coming from? And who else could they be praying to but the devil? So that's Satanism too. So why all the energy for all black brothers and sisters? Other people are doing it. I mean, Japan is not a Christian country. The Chinese government actively victimizes and does programs against Christianity in China.
Look at it this way.
Yet China is the second largest economy. So explain that to me.
Let's get into that full scale and you'll see what happened to us. Let's think it's partially getting into it enough. Let's think it's getting into it full scale where you have no authorities challenging it and nobody doing anything. You'll see what happened to St. Kitts. That's what I would say to you.
No, the thing is, I'm not saying you're not wrong about, because I've always turned over in my head why are the Haitians going through all of this tribulation. It's been decades now, hundreds of years, and they can't seem. And I know that the main thing is because them folks don't like people to challenge them, and Haiti did.
I understand you. But listen, when you have
but at the same time,
people,
I also Go ahead.
When you have the head people spearing this kind of thing, the whole nation, the head, not some high elite group, the head politicians. So when you have politicians, when you have other people high in government resorting to these secret acts to get help and direction, what do you think can happen?
I guess. But there's one thing. There's one other thing. There's one other thing I want to challenge you on, though. You seem to think that Israel is the real Israel in the sense of the real ordained Israelites.
Watch it. I'm sorry, answer this to you quickly. Where America is, right? Israel was supposed to be there. It's because they rejected their God. It's why they were not the head people. The head that God wanted to use these people here separately from all the other nations, right?
Which people?
And because they rejected him, he drew them into Babylon. He cast them around the world, and he said he would draw them back together as a nation that has never been heard before. It's spoken about throughout the Bible that they will once again become a nation, and they will prosper in the land of a desert.
Right. So you do agree that the present Israel is, as the Bible puts it, the synagogue of Satan, right?
There are certain Israelites that do not believe in the Messiah, and they do certain things as other people do, right? Those are a sect of Israelites, because the Bible said that all of Israel will be saved in the latter days, all of Israel. But there's a sect that reject him because they didn't believe that the Lord Jesus who came was to die, that kind of gruesome death. They thought he was coming to set up the reign of the kingdom, so they rejected him.
Yep.
Okay.
I could go watch it. Anything you ask me, I could go with you. I could basically answer. The lady there once ago asked her, how can people be exercising, eating, and then all of a sudden they're doing all these good things, and then they die from a sudden heart attack or stroke?
Yep.
The main reason for that is it was a health talk they were having there.
Mm-hmm. You mean a weekly dose?
Oh, he's gone.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, look at what happened to Peter Morgan. I mean, 47 years old.
Sure he was a vegan,
Yeah, but
I'm sure.
Was it Azard someone was saying that he had lost a lot of weight, and maybe Sharon, and we were saying that probably maybe he had been told to. He lost weight, but he was looking good. So, lose weight, but you look gaunt and so on.
Yes, understood.
It was more like losing weight and looking healthy. So,
but to me, Peter was never big, and
No, he was kind of not
He
big,
wasn't-
but
okay,
but
he wasn't as
he could
heavy.
stand. He could have
I
stood to
never
lose
saw
some
him
weight.
as somebody. Okay.
No, I never. Yeah,
I never saw him as an overweight individual.
No, but he could have. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He could have toned up a little bit.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's very sad though.
And
you know.
Jam, so we have to go international now. Very, very sad it was.
Mhm.
I see something that he had a funeral already. I doubt. I just think that's
Really?
fake. I just thought that was fake. I didn't even look at
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna have to take a look.
We
at
have to
that.
go on the international scene. Today is Mr. Navalny's funeral. And that vicious,
Oh,
nasty man
yeah. Oh, I actually didn't realize that.
that
Yeah.
heads that country will
Yes.
be unto his soul when Jesus gets a hold of
Yes.
him.
Yes.
I would love to be there to see what happens to him.
And you know, like I just be shaking my head when, you know, he gave this long speech. I think 2 days ago. You know, he's always reaping up all his grievances with the West, and of course his speech is dripping with he has a total lack of irony, which is crazy to me.
Is he still alive? Is he himself still alive? Because I heard
Yeah,
a
he's
rumor the
alive.
other
Nah,
day that
he's
he's
alive.
dead.
Of
Oh,
course,
so
that's
he's
him.
alive.
That's him, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's wicked. I don't know why that man set foot back in Russia. And I knew he was never seen the light
Well,
of day
he did-
again
he
once they arrested him when he got back.
The documentary maker said, you saw the movie that CNN had. I
No.
think they won Emmy for it and so on. The documentary maker said that I remember watching it actually.
Mm-hmm.
He asked him, well, why would you go back after he got
The Norwegian
the Novichok
poison,
in
yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was watching, I said, why is he going back?
Exactly.
But then he said, if I don't go back, I mean, I wouldn't be true to my conviction that I have to change my country for the better.
But
it's best if I'm in the country and at the same time, you know, to kind of.
But was it a correct move to go back to Russia? Because now look, his life has been cut short, and I knew that man was never ever coming out of that prison.
And then, you know, elections are this month, so you know he made sure he got rid of him.
So he could be the
Russian elections are next month. This month. Oh, this month. Because the month started this.
But he had no chance in jail. How was he going to become president being in jail?
Exactly. But he knew that. Putin knew that, you know, he would always be a thorn in his side. And also, it came out on CNN earlier in the week that apparently there were negotiations to have a prisoner exchange, and the Americans had asked for Navalny, one other person, and in exchange they were going to get
somebody that America
a
has?
KGB guy who is in jail for life in Germany.
Okay.
Because the Russians were trying to get him back, but it's felt that he killed. Apparently, the day before they killed Navalny, they had kind of seemed as though they had all but reached an agreement where it was kind of like 90% type deal, where like okay, and then Putin cut them off at the knees and killed the guy.
He knew he was never gonna let that guy live.
Yeah.
That's just a wicked man. Very wicked man. It's just sad, the world that we live in.
Wait, let's take this call. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Hey.
Good morning, Mr. McMahon.
Yes.
I haven't heard from you for the week.
Is entitled to their own opinions, and everybody have their own belief systems. Huh?
Yeah.
But some opinions and belief systems are downright dangerous and should be challenged. Okay? Because they do have an impact on people and how they live and how they react to things. If you take the Haiti situation, for instance, if you're going to be defeatist and say that, well, they brought this on themselves, they're into voodoo and all of that, and so this is a result of that, it puts a mindset that things cannot be changed.
Yes.
Right? And it's the same thing in the Israeli-Palestinian issue. When you have a whole mass of people thinking that particular sets of people are the chosen ones, or they have an inherent right to live there because of centuries-old biblical, what shall we call them, edicts, then you have a problem. Okay, too many things have been done in the name, too many bad things have been done in the name of religion, promoting religion or adhering to particular faith. And, you know, I really think that they should, in fact, be challenged. You know, you shouldn't just say, well, it's your opinion and that's it.
Don't you find it interesting? Don't you find it interesting? Don't you find it interesting? I saw that.
Yeah.
You just sent me a text. Yeah. So don't you find it interesting that the pushback against the inviolate and sacrosanct Israelis only started in the last, you could say, what, 2 years? I find it very interesting. I think that is.
It's been there. It's been
Well,
there
yeah, but it's more. It's much more out in the open now, I would say, and I find that significant.
When you say pushback, what do you mean?
Well, meaning, you know, imagine people. I mean, it was unthinkable to me like 20 years ago to see that just mainstream white people actually out in the streets demonstrating for Palestine and against Israel. That's what I mean. Yeah. This was unthinkable. Huh?
That is true.
That's what I mean, and I think that's significant.
Yes. And generally, it's a general trend to where maybe it's young people now, okay, or maybe because of you don't have no mainstream media now to shape opinions, right? Everybody gets their news from all kinds of sources and in real time. That's probably a result of that, okay? They try to shut that down, but it's practically impossible to do. And so people have a conscience. They know wrong when you see it. I mean, take for instance, even BBC, which was considered kind of fair, would say things like, according to the Ministry of Health, the Hamas-run Ministry of Health, you had so many civilians being killed. Right? I mean, they don't do that when it comes to quoting Israelis casualties and so on. Okay? They take that for granted as being correct. Right? It's that kind of discrimination and bias that people can see through. Right? Nobody can look at pictures of the destruction in Gaza and feel that is only a couple thousand people have died. You know?
And one of the things I heard on the news, I think might have been last night, is that now apparently like a sort of consortium of media, of reporters from around the world, they are pushing to get access to Gaza because apparently the Israelis are not allowing, they're only allowing certain, and to me that.
And how is and yet they claim that Israel is democratic. It's the same kind of argument that they used with South Africa during apartheid. Basically, that's the shining example in of democracy and you know, good governance and development in Africa. Everywhere else had the coups and counter coups and those things, right? But we know that was one of the most oppressive regimes. It's the same thing now with Israel and Palestine. Okay, they're saying that Israel is the beacon of democracy in the region, right? While they colonize people.
But let me ask you a question.
Really, I mean,
well, we see we've just been talking about the tide turning against Israel. But don't you think it's one-sided for the BBC to only report the Palestinian casualties and not the Israeli ones? I mean, you're reporting news. You're supposed to be. I mean, even if you're gonna let's say quasi editorialize and say, okay, I think this is beyond the pale, blah blah blah. But okay, 100 Israelis died and such amount of Palestinians died. Don't you think that maybe maybe the growing apathy towards Israel is affecting the balance in the reporting?
I don't know. I think personally, I feel, and this is where I agree with conspiracy theorists. I don't think that the media in the West is as independent as we think.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
Do you know that there was a flood? Do you know there was some extreme weather in Dubai? And it was, you know where I saw that? On YouTube in a video. And that was never reported on any news that I saw. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, everybody knows that if you can control the narrative, you can control the media, the news, then you can control people.
Because people in the comments were saying that, the comments where I saw that video, they were saying, well, you know, the Arab Emirates government, they're kind of ruthlessly defending their image, and imagine being able to shut down news reporting on like flooding and stuff.
Right. You know, the bad news, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's been a feature of totalitarian governments forever, and not just totalitarian governments. It's acceptable for even so-called democracies when they, for instance, are at war. You know, you put out the same thing Putin is doing. Actually, you know, basically he's shutting down all bad reports about the war in Ukraine. Yeah. But the West do it as well. Okay? There are no devils.
Oh, absolutely. But let me give you a story. I've noticed when I was growing up, it was never so much said as just the way people acted, as though the BBC was perfect and that they're perfectly balanced and they're never biased. Do you know when I first observed BBC bias for myself? Make a guess. When they covered Idi Amin and who's the other person? This recent person, Idi Amin and Mugabe. Yes, Mugabe. That is when I saw it. That is when I saw the bias. I said, oh.
And it can be very obvious. It's very obvious. Sometimes they don't even try to be subtle about it.
Exactly.
And you know, we grew up thinking, yes, the BBC was this shining light on the hill when it comes to journalism and so on. Everybody wanted to emulate the BBC. Everybody looked at, for instance, Voice of America as you know, propaganda, essentially, you know, promoting anti-communist sentiments everywhere, right? But the BBC, I think, and I think it is because of the funding. This idea that because you're publicly funded, you can be independent is hogwash. Just like the so-called mainstream media, they who have like the advertisers and so on. Whoever funds you, whoever pays the piper, so to speak, calls the tune. It's as simple as that. Okay, and the BBC is not immune from that. What I find interesting is the approach of Azard. They are, well, totally pro-Palestinian. Okay, no question about that. Okay, but you can argue that that is a balance, a counterbalance, a counterweight to what the Western media is doing. Okay, and I think though they are supporting, is it Kuwait or some Arab consortium that is?
I think it's Kuwait and Qatar, something like that.
Yeah, I think, right. You know, and at least they don't hide the fact where their funds are coming from, okay, to be able to do broadcasts like this, right? But this idea, you can be blacklisted, put it that way, in Western media. It always happens, okay, if you go against the grain. And it also extends to government. You've probably heard of the uproar in Parliament the other day when the Scottish National Party try to get a vote basically supporting a ceasefire. If you don't toe the line, you're in trouble. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
You know? But in terms of Haiti is particularly galling because I think we can do more even without Western boots on the ground and so on.
But what can we do, though, Mr. McMahon, now that you're saying that we can do more? What can we do? Because, you see, I was stumped. I couldn't say what is it we can do because I don't know what resources we have in the region that can help. So if you have an idea.
There are parallel paths that we can take.
Okay.
One, of course, is Haiti will go nowhere if you don't have peace and security. That's the first
That is
thing.
true.
And there was this Kenyan thing that was supposed to happen, which I think was blocked by, I think it's the Kenyan...
His parliament.
What?
His parliament, I think.
It's his parliament that did it?
His opposition in the parliament, I think, were the ones pushing back against it for whatever reason.
Push back for whatever reason. There's probably a story behind that too.
Yep.
Right? But we have to pursue that. We have to be able to get peace and security there. Otherwise, we're going to be back to square one if we don't have that. So that should be tried again with other African countries as well. I said parallel path, that's the security aspect of it. Because, yes, we don't have the kind of military that can go into Haiti and I mean, millions of people there and really effect peace. Okay, so we have to depend on outside, preferably African, UN-backed African forces. Okay, that's the first thing. The other path, we at least, even though we complain about our governments and so on, at least we are not failed states. You know, we have government systems that work. Part of Haiti's problem is governance. They don't have the people in correct positions to run the country properly. And we can have something like our kind of Peace Corps that can help do that. You know, it could be a volunteer force of people who know how government can run, administrations run, or it can be bringing key people from Haiti to our countries, let them do a work-study program with the intention not of migrating, but going back to Haiti to help to run the country. There's no reason we can't do something like that, right? And get places like North America, Europe, who may want to help, but we don't want them actually intervening. Get them to at least pay for it. You know, do the logistics, let them do the logistics part of it.
But the fact
that we do the work.
But the fact that they're
in terms of training these people and to effect change in Haiti, I am sure we can do better than what we're doing.
Okay.
I mean, what does that take to do? To bring people from Haiti, key people from Haiti, and train them to make government work.
4 words, Mac. 4 words.
What?
Iridium is more important.
You what?
Iridium is more important. And with that, I'm running you off the phone now.
Okay. Money, everything like
yes.
money.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. We have Fireproof coming up, and I heard Tim is joining us this morning, so that should be fun. So let's take a quick break and come back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA specials.
Running February 22nd to March 6th.
Now our Value Club Blue Tax specials. Lace chips $8.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Salad dressing $10.99. After popcorn $7.99. Essential Everyday Mayonnaise $16.99. $14.99. Blue Ribbon Ice Cream, $32.99. Pearl Mix, Pancake Mix, $12.49. And now our very low weekly
Value deals! Ocean Spray Cranberry Drinks, $11.99. Post Honey Bunches of Oat Cereals, $12.99. Ensure, $8.99. Rice-A-Roni Dishes, $7.99. Ama Toothpaste, $14.99. Dawn Dish Liquid Soap, $12.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, tell them in Spanish.
sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Eight 9:25, and we're gonna go to the phone lines, and I'm kind of hoping that this is who I think it is. Good morning.
Hi.
It is who I think it is. Hey, what's up? You know, this call came in perfect. This call was really timely because thing just had to step outside into the passage for a bit. She's coming back in now. Kortensia. This is our other co-host. This is Chevrolet. Chev, what's up? What's going on?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good. What you up to?
I'm just busy, but I'm good. I caught most of the show this morning, and very, very interesting topics. You know, right up my alley.
I thought you were going to show up today. Maybe.
You never know. Maybe next week.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But
so this will be a nice surprise when Kay comes back in. Yeah. So what you up to?
Well, I'm listening to the discussions and so forth, and even with the Haiti discussion about the media and all that, I think it comes back to show that a lot of us are still very much, I like to say, in an infantile stage mentally, meaning that we drank the coffee fully, we went to school, we did everything we were told to do, and we did not go through that phase of questioning. You know, they're saying you're teenage, you're rebellious and so. I don't think everybody seems to go through that phase, or at least not on higher levels, because even as black people, as a race, we perpetrate, we believe so much stuff that is not for our good or upliftment, that does nothing but ensure our degradation, but we do not see it, you know. And some people call it the spell that we are under. Some anti-Christians to the gospel, but anyway, we ain't going there. Right? But it sometimes it makes me wonder if it's a spell, because we look at people who look like us, we look at people who share so much with us, our blood, our history, our trauma, our struggle, and we look at them as the enemy. And then we look at persons who have historically contributed to all that negativity, and we look at them as being the beacon lights of example. And when it comes to Haiti, it really saddens me, because in school we are taught about Toussaint and the Haitian Revolution, and it's sort of like a paradox, because they teach you about these people and they're up high, and you go like, wow, them, they're like the stars of history by them, they break out black people, but yet they flip it on you, and they tell you, well, after they use black magic to win and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, if blacks were on top for years, I like what you asked earlier when you said, what kind of magic them they're using then? You know, because they tell us Haiti is one country who has suffered tremendously, and they don't know the history. They don't know how France and all these other European nations who like to gang up. They're like the world's biggest, baddest gang. And they like to gang up on black and brown nations who defy their white supremacy. And we do not know these things, and we do not seek this kind of knowledge. Right?
Exactly.
A lot of us out there defending all these, and this is not about race, this is about us as black people really educating ourselves. We passing on all this self-hate to our children and do not understand.
Preach. Preach.
Because of the Haitian Revolution, we stand here where we are today, and we turn around every day and blaspheme and curse the people of Haiti and continue. Because we have to understand that we are a very spiritual people, and what we say matters. We talk about having goat mouth, right? And people understand our strength, but we do not understand ourselves.
But
and when we come across...
Chef, Kay's back, Chef.
Hi.
Hey, Han, how are you? Thank you for holding down the fort for me. I have to ask you, though, before you continue, what do you think about the fact that history is no longer compulsory in school?
You know, it's how I look at things, right? I would tell people the world is going through a phase, it's going through a major change. And I do not think that is necessarily a bad thing, because all these years where we learned history, we have to understand that history is written by the victor. So a lot of these things that we learned in history, they're not necessarily the right thing, you know, they're not necessarily the true account of what happened. They were placed there to make certain people look a certain way. Yeah. Because look how we come through school, we learn about slavery, but we felt no connection to the slaves, right?
Exactly.
We just look at them as a different set of people, because a lot of the real information we do not get. So no, it's not compulsory.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people will have to find their history in their own way. And I'm hoping that more of us would seek out this sort of stuff. And thank God for social media, Jamster, because a lot of information has come out.
Okay, Chef, we have to run, you know.
Yeah.
We have Fireproof coming up next. I hope you're going to continue to listen. And
yeah, man. Definitely.
Maybe you can call back and weigh. Yeah. We got to go hear from Rams and Pangea Restaurant and get ready for Fireproof. Have a nice weekend.
You too.
All right. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that yet, because we want you to call back.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay. See you.
Okay. Okay.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Are you looking for a new dining experience to whet your appetite? Explore the flavors of the world at Pangea Multi-Cuisine Kitchen and Lounge. Our menu features Latin, Chinese, Mexican, and Indian cuisine with a local twist. The cozy and elegant ambiance provides the perfect backdrop for an unforgettable dining experience. Whether you're in the mood for a romantic night out, a family dinner, or a business lunch, our restaurant is the perfect place to discover new tastes and enjoy a delicious meal. Book your table at Pangea Multi-Cuisine Kitchen and Lounge today by calling us at 465-9100 or visit our website at ktcsvdm.com and our Facebook page at Pangea by KTCS Limited. We are located in the heart of Port Sante, Bastille, St. Kitts. Come and explore the flavors of the world.
Taste the real Ruta. Enjoy the real Ruta. fruit has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta. Enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the real Fruta. Refreshing juice of every day is Fruta.
Fruta, juiced right.
Well, it's on time for Fireproof, and we have got the two officers. We've got Officer Martin and his erstwhile colleague for today's edition. What's up, guys?
Hey, morning. Good morning to all. Morning to the listening audience and viewers. Happy to be here on Fireproof once again.
I'm laughing because it's an inside joke. I wouldn't say it on the radio. Welcome, gentlemen. So what will we be chatting about today? Why is the Deputy Fire Chief looking at...
I'll let him lead off.
He's looking at you?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Good morning, all. Listening audience and viewing personnel who are continuously listening to this wonderful talk show here at WIN FM. Basically, last week we touched on a very important topic as it relates to water, as it assists the fire department in our execution of duties. The point that we made last week that because we have the water rationing, we are unable to be effective at certain areas at certain time of the day. Because the hydrants, once there's any water, we won't be having the water for firefighting purposes, meaning using the hydrants. And basically, we having some concerns as it relates to our fire hydrants. Basically, the purpose of these hydrants, just in case that we have such a massive fire, we would need the other resources, water media, firefighting media to assist us with extinguishment of these fires. Okay, so they are very, very, very important to us. Most of these hydrants are located strategically throughout St. Kitts and Nevis. Person might ask, well, how would we know where there's a hydrant? Some are marked and some are unmarked. Mm-hmm. We mark them by a bright yellow paint. We have what we call a tablet. It's just erected. Mostly time is behind it with an FH embroidered in the tablet. Okay, we have FH on the ground, bright yellow. You cannot miss it. Big and bright FH. That means fire hydrants. Mm-hmm. And we also cover we also paint the cover of the hydrants yellow. Mm-hmm. Right, but for some reasons, we are seeing persons parking over these hydrants or parking close, obstructing the firefighters from getting to these hydrants.
Is there a fine for parking over an hydrant? Because that's, as you said, that's a problem.
Well, about Deputy Chief here, that is something we're working on, so keep all the question for him.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are identification. Where we seeing sometimes they have these projects, and they want to put down some nice roads. Those persons who are contracted to do the roads, when they are hydrants, already put down by water department. Here come the bulldozers and these heavy equipment operators, just demolishes these hydrants. Oh. Right? I mean, if you're walking on a road and you see there's a hydrant, just call the water department and say there's a hydrant. Can you please bring it up or to more of the surface of the earth? Mm-hmm. Because some of them are deep and some of them are a bit under. You can bring them up more to the surface. Mm-hmm. So, person that meeting us and telling us a hydrant is there. For all these years, there have been a hydrant there. But since they've started to put down these roads, these concrete roads, they haven't seen them. Oh. So now we have to go and find means and ways to locate these hydrants.
Yeah, because that's a waste. Because then now if the hydrant is under there, you have to dig up the road that you just laid down, which makes no sense.
Right. And if we really need that hydrant to assist us with that sufficient water to protect lives and property and personal vehicle or livestock, whatever it may be, we won't be able to use that hydrant. We might have to go maybe 100 feet or other areas to get the water, while that hydrant would have been the best alternative to assist us.
Have you guys ever made efforts to, let's say, reach out to Public Works or whoever it is that might be doing the road works to let them know that, for example, to tell them that it's important that when you guys are doing road works, you always have to make sure, okay, here are the regulations, this is where the hydrant is supposed to be integrated into the new road works. You guys know if that ever happens?
Well, we have collaborated, and we are still collaborating with the various entities, Public Works, Water Department, in terms of rectifying or remedying some of these issues. Just recently, we brought to the attention of Water Department a number of fire hydrants that need some fixing, so to speak, and they pledged their efforts in terms of getting those fire hydrants fixed. So yes, there is a collaborated effort, and
but
we
I
will
just
continue.
realized, I actually said Public Works, but I just realized it's Water Department. So you realize that there probably needs to be a lot more communications between Public Works, Water Department, because while Water Department is responsible for the hydrants, Public Works is responsible for fixing the roads. So there should be more
that synergy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's the word. Yeah. Okay, so I'm glad you brought up this topic. So tell us what happens if you go to an area and water happens to be off, and maybe you need more water. Maybe you run out. Maybe the truck runs out. And perhaps you can't find the hydrant. What happens? Or hydrant is difficult to access.
Well, we have other bases. We have Standing Point, we have Tabernacle, and depending on the time of day, because the RLB airport has to remain open.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we just call for additional manpower while we try to locate hydrants at another location. It looks hard to see that a fire is burning, water finished, all the water finishes out of the appliance. We have to leave from, let's say, St. Peter's to further down, maybe Shadwell, where the fire is still burning. Suppose like, the fire truck gone, and so we try our best as possible. Once we are leaving, let's say bar says is moving, they will inform Standing Point, look, be on standby, just in case we need you. Because, water, we're having some water situation in this area, or we might need you to assist us. So we have this collaborative effort. Anytime one station is leaving, we inform the next, put them on standby so they can be able to move.
Standby means that they're on their way already, or they're just waiting for the call? Because let's think about the distance between. I know nowhere is far in St. Kitts, but let's think about the distance between, let's say, St. Peter's and Sandy Point.
Well, yes, very, very important. Let's say we have a house fire and we have concrete evidence that there's a house fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, we still have another prank calls,
Oh boy.
So
People stop it. That's not nice.
Yes, it's not nice. So imagine us a fire at St. Peter's, we bring in Standing Point, when Barcy reach there first, turn back. It's a forest. Okay?
Wow. That has actually happened.
What I could add is that when it comes to structural fires, especially in the night, the airport is closed. And we rely on airport first and foremost in terms of them coming out to assist. In that regard, their trucks carry way more water than ours. However, we have to be mindful of the terrain that we might be needing them to access, because their trucks are very huge. Yes. So one of the things that we do also, we try to keep in contact with a number of persons within Water Department. So if there is a water shortage, where we know there are water shortages at nights, and especially if it's a structural fire, we then try to contact personnel from Water Department to see if they can come out and turn on a valve to ensure that water is restored to that area. So that is another avenue that we do take.
Okay.
We have a call here.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Fireproof. Hello.
Hi, caller. Go right ahead.
Hi. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to you.
Our recommendation as it relates to hydrants and the water issue. I think I may have said something similar to this before. Since it came up again. If I'm not mistaken, the hydrants, are they connected to the water mains so that if water is turned off in an area for rationing purposes, those hydrants will be affected as well? Is that the case?
Yes, they are connected to the main water supply.
Can it be a situation where moving forward, because I think it will be a bit difficult to do so now, but moving forward for new developments, new hydrants being put in place, a bypass be put into the infrastructure so that even though water in that area is turned off for residential consumption, the hydrants themselves are still charged. So that way, the firefighters can have the water that is needed to deal with the emergency at hand. Something to be discussed with Public Works or whichever authorities that infrastructural issue falls under.
Carl, I want to thank you very much for that contribution. That is an exceptional idea, and that is an idea that we have thought of before. So it's just a matter of engaging the various entities that can get that done. Because just to highlight what he basically is saying is that we have the main pipes for residential use, commercial use, but then you lay a different set of pipes
for the hydrants,
just for the fire hydrants, and that is workable. Mind you, it would be an extensive venture project,
but it's a good one.
It's a good one, and I think it's doable.
Okay.
And I imagine you could probably have like a pilot project. Like, let's say you're doing a new subdivision, you could say, okay, let's do this here, and see if it works. But then I guess it still would be kind of extensive because you still have to get the water to the mains, from the mains, and then do the separate bypass.
Right.
So yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Something that came out of something Kortensia asked you. Is it no, I'm not putting you on the spot.
No,
but
put him on the spot.
Is it what do you think about the idea of, like, I've always thought about St. Peter's. It's a very big area, right?
It is a big
Shouldn't maybe St. Peter's have its own station, its own appliance? Because I was thinking about, I was talking about the Sandy Point, let's say,
You gotta be. You heard. You were listening to some of our meetings that we have been having.
No, because I always thought that. St. Peter's should have its own fire hall.
Subdivision.
Yeah. We have had discussions about that. Even I hope I'm not going ahead of myself, but even trying to maybe put a municipal side of firefighting at the airport, so they respond from there into the community.
Okay.
So that's something
that
we have.
That actually makes sense.
We are discussing. So it's just to try to get it into fruition.
So now, can we hold fire under the feet of who is in charge, the PS4 fire, to ensure that station is in least before
who's your minister?
The end of the year.
Who's your minister?
I said PSC. I was nice to you. I said the PS. Yeah.
But who's your minister? Would be
the
Prime Minister?
Is the Prime Minister, Minister of National Security.
Okay.
If you're Prime Minister, fire under your feet to look after your constituency. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Congress, but yeah, okay, I guess National Security comes on. Okay. But actually, that's a very good idea. We have another call. Caller, go right ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, caller.
Hi.
Okay.
Yes, morning again. I just wanted to give kudos to the firefighting team regarding that consideration for the airport to be utilized in that manner. We have very limited infrastructure here in St. Kitts, and a lot of that also is as a result of how small we are. And so many a time, you and I have had personal conversations, and we've heard it on the radio as well, where we need to be more creative and efficient with the infrastructure that we have. And just want to acknowledge that, hey, you guys are actually thinking outside of the box. That level of critical thinking that you hear people begging for. And also, I think that the department is not necessarily in the public or considered as much as it should be, considering just how critical of a role you guys play. Thanks to Island Tea for bringing you guys on, and we hope that you can get more support and, the public come together and acknowledge the fact that, yes, this is actually one of the most critical aspects of the service that is required and needs that additional input. It doesn't always have to be a government thing. When persons have ideas, call in, give them. Obviously, you guys are taking them into consideration. I was very, very pleased to hear that, you're thinking about how you can expand the services, better the services, etc., etc. And Michelina talked about being something of a PR person for you guys. I think it would lend to your overall support if you have that in place, because when the public hears that you're doing these types of initiatives or thinking of them, it only lends to get you that much more support. And just wanted to give that little input there. But again, kudos to you guys for that. Really, really great idea.
Well said.
Thank you very much.
And I have to second that. I mean, it's funny, as much as I thought about the idea, I didn't think about what you added. I said that's actually a brilliant idea. Using the airport.
Right.
I thought that was a great idea. We have another call. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning to everybody, man.
Hey,
good morning,
go
man.
right ahead.
Good morning.
Yeah, that was a great suggestion or question by that caller about the whatever he was implying. Let me ask two questions real quick. One, we see that there's becoming a water shortage, right? Is there any new innovations that's coming out to fight fire? Like how we have the fire extinguishers, we use chemicals. Is there any new innovation coming out, to help out the fire, fighting departments around? I mean, not just for St. Kitts alone, but is there anything that you guys heard that's coming on stream? Like we can have bigger, the chemicals that's in the fire extinguishers, can we get those in bigger supply? And maybe, fight a little bit of bigger fires. And then another thing, right? Talking about subdivisions, right? The water storage tanks that's coming into St. Kitts that they have ordered for water storage. Can they get some bigger tanks of those type of containers and set them up at substations where the fire department can tap into in different areas around the island? And those are my two questions. That's it for now.
Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
In relation to new initiatives that are coming out regarding firefighting, I am not too. Well, I can't speak about what is coming out. What I know though, different to the fire extinguishers, you can have what is called a fireball. It's a round ball that is hung in the ceiling, and once the heat gets to that, it bursts open, sending extinguishing media throughout the whole entire room, extinguishing the fire. And I find that to be a very interesting way of
So that's like a fire extinguisher?
It is like a fire extinguisher,
So
but
you
it's just
hang it in your private
it's just
home,
a ball. Yeah, you can put it anywhere that you feel necessary to have that. Like let's say if you have a server room, for example, you have an electrical room, you put that ball inside there, that anything, electricity, once you have those huge voltage inside of a room, then the fire can be real intense. So that would just extinguish the fire right away.
So where can one get that?
Yeah, you can get it online.
Oh, it's online.
Yeah.
I thought I could have come across the fire station.
I have to look up that.
All right. Yeah, that sounds very genius.
Yeah, I know. Caller, go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Island. Good morning, and good morning to the firefighters. Then.
Good morning.
Morning. Now, I hear the guy talk about the hydrant, right? But if the water turn off in the village, I do not believe we affect the hydrant them, because the hydrant water comes from the main pipe. Because I really see water turn out the village and have water sometime, and the fireman them come and they go use the hydrant and they get water out the hydrant. So I believe the water department supposed to come in and educate us about that.
So you're saying that
the water got to turn off from the main source of Winfield who affect the hydrant them. I believe that.
So he's saying that maybe there is a bypass and we didn't realize. At least in some areas.
Sometimes the water in the village, and sometimes the fire, maybe a fire, like grass fire and thing, and the fire truck come, and the fire truck up the hydrant, and they get water from the hydrant. So we left that to the water department to come and educate us about that.
It's not all areas to be turned off, eh? It's not all areas, because for example, town might be affected. In the New Road area, I know have water at times. So there are different areas that would still have water, even though certain areas, key areas, as I said, in the heart of Bastia, is turned
I
off.
believe you should get in contact with the water department.
Yes,
because
we
I believe that he got, even though the water turn off in certain areas, you'll still get water from the hydrant.
But also, it could be the afterflow. I mean, because usually when you turn off, so you have your garden hose, you turn it off, but then there's going to be water that's going to run out for a while before
the water will settle run out.
Yeah. So maybe that's what you're talking about.
Maybe that's another.
Or we could be wrong.
So, Carla, we'll take that into consideration, and water department, we could reach out to them to have them be a part of
the water distribution system. In theory, you outline very carefully and strategically the whole operation. But as I say, we'd have to find other means of knowledge.
Yeah, we could engage them, have them on the show.
I feel like another area for synergy for the fire department is whoever at the post office is going to be doing. I think the postal department is responsible for having the streets named and lots numbered and houses numbered.
Really?
Yeah, so I feel like that is another part. That's another synergistic goal you guys should aim for, where have every subdivision numbered and everything, so that when you guys get a call, you know exactly where to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is important. I mean, the naming of the streets is very critical in order for us to do our job effectively. We have a number of areas that still, the roads are still unmarked, etc.
So how do you find those areas if you are called for a fire?
Basically, given description. If you have a landmark, a specific landmark, right?
Okay.
And of course, if it's a major blaze, then of course we will see the smoke. Yeah.
Understood.
Okay.
But I'm glad that we spoke about the hydrants, though, because I'm sure a lot of persons didn't know what that FH
Yes.
meant.
And I guess the awareness is good of knowing, well, okay, maybe we should be blocking that. Oh, by the way, I sent you, after the call, you can, your site?
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably should read it for them. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning.
Okay, please be brief.
Good morning.
Good morning to all who did the firemen and all.
Good morning to you, sir.
Now, could I ask a question? Fireman, you all realize that the port, the seaport and the port where you land cargo. I mean, as I said, this is modern time. We have bigger ships and more ships coming. We all have to think about putting down a fire department, whatever you want, a fire station, a substation at the port in case of any one of those ships accidentally caught fire. Because, you see, as I see those ships coming in, I mean, I think they're in the mercy of we and the fire department. And it's because it was of a fire, I believe we should have a fire tug, and a fire station placed at those ports to help in case of a fire. Thank you. I would like to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Carla, for that contribution. What I would say is that we have had extensive
Hey, how about
conversation.
we have another call? Let's take our
Sure,
last call, and then you
sure.
can address it to calls. Caller, go right ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Caller, go ahead. You're live on Fireproof. Hello.
Caller, go right
Hi,
ahead.
good day.
Yeah.
My question is with regard to the input. Yes, the input that one of your officers made maybe 2-3 weeks ago as it relates to legislation. I am sure a lot of business places have been listening to the program, especially this aspect of it. Has there been any further engagement by businesses to ensure that, the fire services department can come in and assist with drills to give feedback as to what additional requirements need to be put in place? And how are you guys progressing as it relates to updating legislation to give you more teeth to address a lot of the issues that you face?
Thank you very much for that contribution, Carlo. Let me start off in terms of the legislation. We are currently vigorously working on our Fire Services Act, and stemming from that fire service, the revision of that act, it would enable us to get into other aspects of legislation type the framework for fire services that we can really, as I said, dig into. Now, we are almost nearing, first draft of this act. We are all excited about it. So is to send it to the legal team, have them send it back to us to make whatever necessary changes, etc. And then we could send it off again for reviewing. So that is we're seeing the rainbow for that aspect.
Silver lining.
Yes. In relation to the companies, private companies engaging us, we have had a bit of the companies engaging us in terms of fire prevention activities, whether it be fire drills, doing inspections, doing presentations. However, what I would say is that it can be even greater. We want to encourage the general public to engage us. As it is now, our team is small in terms of really taking the fight out into the community. But for the most part, we would just like to encourage the general public to come on out, engage us, write to us, email us, call us, and see how best we can get into your establishment to make your establishment safer, not just for you, but for the customers and patrons that occupy your space.
And as a caller said, you all need to get the PRO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You wanna read that thing quick before we go? Before
the
we wrap
hefty
up?
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a.
So in some countries, even in the Caribbean, it is illegal to park in front of fire hydrants. You have to park a certain distance from the hydrant in order to allow the fire truck to access it safely. As a matter of fact, it is an infringement that your car is towed and you still get a hefty ticket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe that's something you gentlemen can work into legislation.
Indeed.
If it's not there as yet. Folks, once you see FH on a cover, a hydrant there, not park there, okay? The police don't move your car.
The caller made, there was a caller who made mention, have enough time to...
We're actually all the time. I just gave you guys a little extra time
All
because the calls were very.
We do appreciate that.
Yeah, calls were very engaging. Yeah, 3 minutes after 10.
The caller that spoke about the marine side of firefighting. I just want to let him know that we have had talks about extending the fire services to the marine side. In terms of getting a boat, etc. We have had a number of callers who came in and shared that concern. So that is something that we are considering looking at. Having some of our officers trained in, we'd have to procure a boat, etc. But yes, that is something that we're looking for futuristically.
Okay, good stuff.
I guess we could take some consolation in the fact that we know boats have fire suppression systems on board, so at least that should, that should help. That should go a long way to dealing with that kind of
The
stuff.
cruise ships and them, they have their own firefighting crew, etc.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have a
they're
crew.
equipped.
Yeah, they are equipped
Oh.
for that. They are equipped.
I never knew that.
They
I
have
just
a
thought they
firefighting
were
crew.
extinguisher trained.
No,
No,
they have a
they have,
firefighting
yeah.
crew on board.
Wow.
So we will just be, once we get that fireboat, etc. on stream, then we'll just be adding to what they
Okay,
already.
so extra help should anything happen.
Indeed.
Okay.
I just want to extend, our sincere gratitude for the Win FM and Island Tea having us here to share the information to the general public, like the caller said. So I want to say a heartfelt thank you very much to you guys.
And thank you to guys, you guys as well for keeping us safe.
That. Yeah.
And as always, fire free week.
Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, see you guys next
And
week.
people stop prank calling the fire department. That's not nice. The day you need them and they don't show up, that will be your own demise. Stop it.
Thanks for saying that.
You're welcome.
The guy who cried wolf.
I know exactly.
Okay, folks, that's going to do it for Fireproof and Island Tea. We'll be back on Monday. So everyone have a great weekend. Okay, bye.
Are you looking for a new dining experience to whet your appetite? Explore the flavors of the world at Pangea